The man was found hanging beneath a bridge named after monks, his pockets stuffed with bricks, his hands bound behind his back. The official verdict was suicide, but almost no one who examined the scene believed that story. Not then, not now. Roberto Calvi was once known as God's banker. He was the chairman of Banco Ambrosiano, Italy's largest private bank, and the Vatican was his most powerful client. His signature moved billions across borders. His phone calls reached cardinals, politicians, secret societies, and men whose names never appeared on paper. When he died in London in 1982, he left behind a question that still echoes through Europe's financial and religious corridors. What did he know that was so dangerous it followed him across countries and silenced him in the shadows? To understand Calvi's death, you have to understand his rise. Roberto Calvi was not born into power. He built it quietly, methodically, the way bankers do, through trust, numbers, and discretion. By the 1970s, Banco Ambrosiano had become a financial giant, and at its center was Calvi, a devout Catholic with close ties to the Vatican Bank, officially known as the Institute for the Works of Religion. The Vatican Bank was unlike any other financial institution on earth. It existed outside Italian law, protected by sovereignty and secrecy. No audits, no public balance sheets, perfect conditions for money to disappear. And disappear it did. Through a web of shell companies in Panama, the Bahamas, and Luxembourg, billions were funneled out of Banco Ambrosiano. The Vatican Bank appeared as a shareholder, a guarantor, and sometimes a silent partner. But where the money went was murky, too murky. Investigators would later uncover links to arms deals, political bribes, covert Cold War operations, and the Italian mafia. Some funds were allegedly used to support anti-communist movements in Eastern Europe and Latin America. Others vanished into criminal networks. Calvi sat at the center of it all, signing documents, approving transfers, and keeping secrets no banker was ever meant to hold alone. But Calvi made one fatal mistake. He believed the protection around him was permanent. By the early 1980s, Banco Ambrosiano was collapsing. Holes in the balance sheet ran into the billions. Italian prosecutors began closing in. Calvi was convicted of currency violations and illegal exports of capital. Though he avoided prison pending appeal, the walls were closing in. Then, in June 1982, Roberto Calvi vanished. He fled Italy using a fake passport, traveling through Austria before arriving in London under an assumed name. For days, no one knew where he was. His family feared the worst. His associates went silent. On the morning of June 18th, a postman walking along the River Thames made a discovery beneath Blackfriars Bridge. There, dangling from scaffolding under the bridge, was Calvi's body. The scene was disturbing and immediately suspicious. His hands were tied behind his back. His pockets contained bricks and stones. He carried over $15,000 in cash in 3 different currencies. There was no suicide note. And despite the bridge being a public place, no one reported seeing him climb, struggle, or fall. Even the bridge itself raised questions. Blackfriars. To most people, it was just a name. But to those who understood Italy's hidden power structures, it carried a chilling implication. The Blackfriars were a symbolic reference, one long associated with the clandestine Masonic lodge known as Propaganda Due, or P2. P2 was not just a secret society, it was a shadow government. Its members included generals, intelligence chiefs, media owners, politicians, and financiers. Roberto Calvi was on the list, so were men who controlled Italy from behind the scenes. Suddenly, Calvi's death looked less like despair and more like a message. British authorities initially ruled the death a suicide. The case was closed quickly, almost casually, but Calvi's family refused to accept it. His widow launched a relentless campaign pushing for new investigations, new autopsies, new truths. Years later, forensic experts would confirm what many suspected from the start. Calvi could not have killed himself. The angle of the hanging was wrong. The injuries on his neck were inconsistent with suicide. The weight in his pockets would have made climbing nearly impossible, and tying one's own hands behind the back defied logic. This was no act of despair. It was an execution. As pressure mounted, attention turned toward the Vatican. Banco Ambrosiano collapsed spectacularly, leaving a $1.3 billion hole. The Vatican Bank denied responsibility but eventually paid hundreds of millions to creditors without admitting guilt. Why pay at all if they were innocent? Then there was the mafia. Testimonies from pentiti, former mob members turned informants, painted a darker picture. They claimed Calvi had lost mafia money, that he could no longer move funds safely, that he had become a liability. One informant stated bluntly, Calvi was killed because he failed. Another suggested something even more frightening. Calvi had threatened to talk. In 2005, more than 2 decades after his death, Italian prosecutors charged 5 men with Calvi's murder, including a powerful mafia boss and Calvi's former business associates. The trial exposed a labyrinth of corruption, linking organized crime, finance, and religion. But in the end, all were acquitted due to lack of evidence. No one was held responsible. The Vatican never fully explained its role. The Vatican Bank has never opened its books from that era. Many documents vanished. Key witnesses died. Others recanted. The truth, if written down, was buried carefully, layer by layer, under money, power, and time. Today, Roberto Calvi remains one of the most haunting figures in modern history. A man who believed he was untouchable, a banker who thought faith and secrecy would protect him, a pawn who rose too high in a game where pawns are sacrificed without hesitation. His body no longer hangs beneath Blackfriars Bridge, but the questions remain suspended there, invisible yet heavy. Who ordered his death? What secrets did he take with him? And how deep did the Vatican's shadow truly reach? In a world where money moves faster than morality and power hides behind sanctity, Roberto Calvi's fate stands as a warning. Some truths are so dangerous that the moment you carry them alone, your life becomes negotiable. And sometimes justice never comes, only silence.